Our next guest is Kenzie, the artistic director and founder of the brand new Ghostlight Theatre Troupe. Founded to enrich the theater community in the North Hills, Hampton area, Ghostlight has already performed Edward Albee's At Home at the Zoo and Kenneth Lonergan's Lobby Hero. Rich himself has written, acted, and directed in the United States, Canada, and Great Britain. This February, Ghostlight will present the 2002 Drama Desk Award-winning musical, The Last 5 Years. Thanks for joining us, Rich.
Thank you very much for having me.
What inspired you to start Ghostlight Theatre Troupe?
Well, I've always been involved in theater ever since I was very small. And when I lived in England. I was born there. And when I moved to Canada and got very involved in theater at a young age and stayed involved. And then when when I got married and moved out west, Western Canada, I got very involved in community theater in the Vancouver, British Columbia area. And it's just been in my blood for that whole time. When I came to Pittsburgh, I realized there's really not a great deal in the North Hills of choices for theater companies. And I was fortunate enough to do some work with the Red Barn in Alliston Park that had been there for probably close to 45 years. And unfortunately, that property got sold to a private investor, and the theater was closed down, unfortunately. So there was a real kind of need in that North Hills area. I mean, there are a couple of theaters, in that vicinity, but not a great deal. So I really wanted to start something up and do some more challenging kind of theater for the actors, to kind of stretch the actors and challenge the audiences a little bit too. I mean, the run-of-the-mill Neil Simon comedies and different things are done on a regular basis that really kind of get the crowds in, but it doesn't, to me, really challenge the audiences or stretch the actors. And that's kind of what the goal of Ghostlight is, to do things that aren't really as common and maybe a little bit edgy sometimes. And we started off, as you said, with At Home at the Zoo, that's an edgy show anytime you do Albee. But yes. We had a great response to it. Very good positive feedback. Not everybody liked the show, but they liked the acting and they liked the direction. So that was, to me, kind of a compliment to the fact that we started off with something kind of
yes, and I can't tell you how impressed I was with Lobby Hero.
Oh, thank you.
And I think it really did challenge the actors. I was very impressed with
it did.
The quality.
Yeah, and Lobby Hero was done not too long ago here, but it's a show that's not very commonly done by, like quote-unquote amateur groups, which, we're not professional, but I don't like to say that we're amateur either. We're striving for that professionalism in everything that we do. And as you know, that show is a little bit challenging because the space that we were in originally for At Home at the Zoo, we had that space all the way up to about 3 weeks before the production of Lobby Hero, and then suddenly that space was pulled out from underneath us. So we were really scrambling to find a location, and we were fortunate enough to find a space to do Lobby Hero and continue going on. So.
And I read that you're applying for nonprofit status so that you can start fundraising.
Correct.
And find your dream space.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about how your nonprofit status application is proceeding and what your dream space is like?
Yeah, we are in the throes right now of getting our nonprofit. We have the board of directors put together, and we have the packet put together to get ready to submit to get nonprofit. And we also have some people that have pledged to us that they're going to give a substantial amount of money to help get us started. And we've also done some looking into some of the different foundations and things within the Pittsburgh area and the arts councils, et cetera, for money that's available. And I'm happy to report that just last week I met with the gentleman where we did Lobby Hero, and he wants to convert that into an actual viable space, put new concrete floor down, block the windows off, put heat in there, which will be important, some insulation in the
February,
roof. Yes, yeah, well, yeah. Well, we can talk about what we're going to do the February show when we get to that. But so we think that is with the money we'll get through the through the nonprofit, we'll be able to turn it into a really good, viable year-round space. And once people know where it is, it's a little kind of out of the way, but we'll get some signage up, and once people know where it is and we build up that audience, I think it'll be a great venue.
Well, and tell me about your upcoming play, musical, The Last 5 Years.
We're doing The Last 5 Years, which is a one-act, two-person musical. It's about 90 minutes long, written by Jason Robert Brown. And it's a story about a man and a woman that are coming to the end of a 5-year relationship. and it's told backwards forwards. The man is speaking about the whole experience from the beginning of the marriage to the end, and the lady Kathy is talking about it from the end back, reminiscing to the beginning. And there's about 14 songs in it. It's primarily all music. There's only a little bit of spoken words when the male character is speaking about a book signing. But the music in it is beautiful. It's really, really nice. And the cool thing about it is the two actors don't interact until one point about the middle of the show. So it's going to be very challenging for the actors to help the audience stay connected with both the music and actions, and the blockings. That's going to be a big challenge, but it is a great show, especially to do it in February.
Yes.
It's kind of a love story, and so.
Valentine's Day.
Exactly, yeah.
And you will be directing. One of the challenges I would imagine that a director would have with this musical is, like you said, the characters only sing one song together.
Exactly.
What ideas do you have for showing their connection in other ways other than that one song?
Yeah, that's a very good point. And because it is all sung at the like it's a lot of songs, one of the things that that I would want to do is actually have, before we actually get into the musical direction of it, is actually block it out in almost like speaking the words instead of singing them first. So just talking through the words, trying to get the actors to connect, and just to feel that connection, because that's going to be critical. And then some of the blocking designs that we have, because there's some pretty cool scenes where there's a rowboat in the middle of Central Park that will roll out, and different things to, just to try to. That'll be the critical thing, is getting that chemistry between the two of them, even though they only interact once, and getting that chemistry to the audience too.
Do you have your two actors yet?
We do not yet, no. We're going to have auditions in the first week of January. I can tell you I've got a lot of interest. I've got a lot of emails saying, please tell me when, because a lot of people in the acting community are familiar with the show. So it'll be critical, obviously, to have somebody that is very good from a vocal standpoint, but also has that real good stage presence. That's going to be the
two meaty characters.
Yes, that's going to be the challenge. So.
How has the North Hills community responded to the start of Ghostlight Theatre Troupe?
They've started very well. Like I said, for At Home at the Zoo, our opening night we sold out, and then we were about 3/4 all the way through, and the last night we sold out and had a waiting list. Lobby Hero we didn't do as well, probably because of the fact that the location and everything, people didn't really know where it was in the last minute change, which is unfortunate. But we've had some very, very good reaction. A lot of people want to know when the next show is. And we've had fantastic support from the theater community here in Pittsburgh. We had Carnegie Mellon helped us out with costumes and with props. And City Theater helped us with the set. They loaned us all the set. And it was just fantastic support from the professional theater, because they want to see us succeed too, because it's good for them as well.
Yes, great. Well, it sounds like you're well on your way. Best of luck with your nonprofit status and your space and your upcoming musical.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Ghostlight Theatre Troupe presents The Last 5 Years, running February 11th through 19th. For tickets, call 724-449-1165 or visit them on the web at ghostlighttheatretroupe.com. Thanks so much for joining us, Rich.
Thank you.